And we'll look at card number 3. So I didn't get to finish card number 3 because I wanted to use crystal effects and I was letting the dragonfly dry. But I can pop them on there now. We're just going to have him kind of flying here on the side. Okay, so this again maybe looks like a garden or different mosses and stuff in a garden. I just thought it was a different way to use the spots. We started off with a basic black card base. Let me make the crease here with my bone folder. And we used a garden green card front, which somehow has made it all the way to the bottom of my box. Let me clean off my spots again. I just love crystal effects. I think it just makes the butterflies and it makes the dragonflies. It's been a long time since I've had it out. I forgot all about it until the butterflies came out, which reminded me of it. Okay, so now we're gonna use mossy meadow as our darker green, because if we used garden green, they would kind of blend in, and I wanted them to pop. And actually, when I look at this now, I think of camouflage. That's not what I saw in my mind when I was trying to design the card, but now that I look at the card, I see camouflage. So that might be another thing that you could do with it if you had someone in the military. You could have some military stamps and make them a card. I know that now they have different kind of camouflage. It's not always the green. They have the desert and the different kinds. I'm just kind of doing the same thing I did on the last two. Okay. This time I used the stitch nested dies to get that shape in the middle there. Let me show it to you if I can get it off the bottom of the basket. So here it is. And I just cut out a piece of basic white. And I took this stamp with the flowers. And this is from the Dragonfly Garden stamp set. And I used some stays on. Inked it up. Now this one I won't need the foam because it is a rubber stamp. So it already has the cushion built in. I'm going to kind of change this sideways so I can see it better, because I want to put it low enough so that my words will fit at the top. So again, I took my markers, the colors I used, the Stampin' markers I used, I wanted these to be daisies, so I used crushed curry for the yellow, and then I used garden green for the leaves, and I decided I didn't need the real red, and I used mango melody for these little, like, dandelion flowers down here at the bottom. Those are the colors I used. And I have the little words here. It says, "For a true friend." I might not have got these down far enough, but we shall try. If you don't happen to get down far enough, you can always add a little tag that comes out here or something that says, if you have some little words. Oh, that comes out pretty good. Fit right in there for a true friend. Now, if you happen to get the Dandy Garden DSP, you have a piece in there that looks like this. And the punch that you can buy as a bundle with this set punches out these big butterflies and the medium-sized butterflies. So I want this garden green one here. So I'm going to use my scissors because I don't want to mess up everything else trying to get to it. So I'm just going to use my scissors here and cut around this green one. Now, it's going to be kind of hard to hold that in there, you know, because it's not long enough. So what I do is I take a piece of scrap paper, which I have some here, and I like make myself a little handle. I put a little bit of stamp and seal on there, maybe. There would, you know, I had the terriblest time with that today. So I'm just going to use a little meadow adhesive. And I'm just going to kind of like make a little handle here so that it's easier to fit into the punch. And there we go. You get some red behind it, which you can either peel off or it's not going to show. And then you can put some dazzling diamonds on here. Stella, crystal effects, if you wanted to, just to give it a little bit of texture and pop. I am going to adhere this to the card base. Next, I'm going to adhere the label. I'm not going to put crystal effects on it now because it takes so long to dry, and I don't want to stick my finger in it by accident. But I would pop it up with a dimensional right here, and then of course, because every time I use the dandelion garden or the dragonfly gardens, I have to use the ladybug trinkets. So here's the ladybug trinkets and a glue dot. Soccer starts today for the grandkids, so at 6:30 I'm supposed to meet them at the practice field so I can watch the first grader and the fourth grader practice soccer on different fields. So I figure I'll spend a half hour at each one. And then I'm just going to kind of stick this little ladybug where I think she might be crawling up the plant. Can you tell my fingers are getting warmer since I started working? Look at these. They're really starting to turn white. I know, Judy, it makes it so you can even get little bitty things in there because, so this is basically finished. Because look at this medium-sized one here, down here in the corner. So if you look at this piece of paper, it's right here. So what I did again was I cut around it because I don't want to mess up any of these. I cut around it, made another handle, and punched it out. If you wanted some more dragonflies, you could always use these other colors, or there's other little bitty green ones that you can fussy cut with your scissors. So let me make another little handle for this one. I just had this real red cardstock that I messed up on, so it's kind of just in my trash right here. Put a little dot of mono adhesive. Stick it down. Find my punch. Then I can line up that medium-sized one with this top one. There we go. I can pop it up and watch where it pops. And I have one for the inside. Or if you wanted to, like I said, you can have more flying around on the outside too. So here's card number 3. I know. Can you believe that? My hands must be getting really warm in here because all day long they've been blue. And then they get kind of ombre because the tips are still too cold. Hadley and I think maybe I could be Elsa from Frozen. And we can watch my fingers turn blue and it's freezing out. Well, thank you so much for joining me this evening. And remember that this is my host code for the month of March. If you put in a $40 order, you'll get to take a free online class on April the 9th with me. And I will send you a packet that will have enough material in it to make 3 cards and a post-it note holder. The only thing I can't do is stamp an image, but I can cut anything out with the Stamp and Emboss machine and send it to you and all that. So you would just either have, I'm going to base it on the Butterfly Brilliant stamp set, but if you have other stamp sets that you can use to stamp, that's fine too. You can turn it into whatever you like. And so this hostess code will expire March 31st. I gave myself to April the 9th so that I can have time to get everybody's stuff in the mail. And I think that sounds really like it'll be a private online class where you only can come if you were invited. So I hope that you can all join me. Bye and have a good evening. Bye. You guys are welcome.